Hello everyone, and thanks for tuning in today. Today has been a little bit of a hectic day. I've had about 3 outfit changes so far. This morning we started out with exploding diapers, and then we had all sorts of fun stuff after eating. I bet you can probably imagine what that was. So this is my 3rd shirt for the day. Probably TMI, but you know, we're taking the good with the bad here. A lot of people would hear that, and most people would wonder, so why on earth is this your dream job? It's filled with poop, vomit, boogers, pretty much any of the gross things you can think of. That's what I have almost every day. Not quite every day. Today's pretty unusual, but that happens all the time. So a lot of people hear that and they're like, oh my goodness, why would you ever want to do that every day? Why would you ever want to work with kids? How can that ever be your dream job? The other part, the more positive side of that, is that while I did have to deal with poop and while I did have to deal with puke, the other thing I got to do all day long was I got to read books. I got to crawl around in tunnels, I got to teach, I got to encourage, and unless you're a comedian, I would say I probably get more laughs, giggles, and smiles than you do in a whole week in 1 hour or maybe 1 day at most. So, it is a lot to look forward to, and there are times when I can get a little bogged down and be a little frustrated with all the poop and the craziness that goes on, but there's so much there that has so much meaning, so much potential, and just warms my heart. So it's all a matter of what I focus on. If I focus on maybe a crying baby, or if I focus on maybe somebody not feeling good, or somebody throwing a fit, or I don't know, all the million things that can happen with children. If I focus on those things, yeah, this would definitely be the job of my nightmare. But I don't. I focus on the positive things that I enjoy, the things that I love, and the things that get you by from day to day with a smile on your face. I'm going to also play a clip for you from the other night, because today's going to be just all about positivity and where your focus is. The other night I had something pretty awful happen, and I recorded how I felt about it, and so I want to show that to you here real quick. So let's take a peek and see what happened. So I guess you could say this video is slightly less positive, but very real. Note to self and to other writers, keep all of your writing in one spot. We moved about, I'd say, maybe a year ago, just a little over a year ago. And it turns out when we did our spring cleaning, I must have somehow, I don't really understand how, but I must have recycled my writing notebook, which had several of my stories that I've written, as well as it also has 10, 15, maybe 20 concepts that I'd written out for stories. And at this moment, I can remember probably about 2 of them. So I'm going to give it the night, and they say things look better in the morning, so I'm hoping maybe tomorrow, when I'm a little bit refreshed and not quite so emotional, I can remember some of the other concepts. Alright, so I filmed that little piece after I had been crying probably about 15-20 minutes, just in case you couldn't tell that I was slightly emotional. That was something that was really hard for me, and at the end of the night I was faced with a decision. Be bummed out, think my dreams are completely dashed, and just cry myself to sleep, or take a breath, sleep on it, and see what happens the next day. Fortunately, I did get that rest that I needed, and I woke up and decided that I was going to search one last time, and I felt a little insane because, you know, they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly, expecting a different result. And that's all I was doing. I kept searching the house in the same places, but I finally decided I was going to search the guest bedroom one last time. And I went in, and again, it wasn't in any of the places I could think that it would be. I didn't think I was going to find it, so I just sat on the floor for a minute, took a few deep breaths, and I looked up, and right there in front of me, believe it or not, was a very old laptop case that I hadn't used in a year, and I no longer even have the laptop for it. Don't know why I had the case, but I did. And sure enough, my notebook that I lost was in that case, which made me very, very happy because, like I said, I had written down many stories in the notebook. I mean, I have them on the computer, but my notebook is special, so I wrote them down in my notebook, as well as I had 13 concepts for other books that I haven't written yet in that notebook, as well as the layout for a website that I'm wanting to design in the future. So I was very, very thankful that I did find it. Fortunately, if I had lost it, I do know that I would have been able to rethink through some of those stories, and I would have been able to come up with some of those concepts again. Not all of them, I don't think, but most of them, if I sat down and thought about it in the calm state that I was in, I think I would have been able to get most of them. But the moral of the story is just when things go wrong, you're going to have ups, you're going to have downs, and know that if you stay positive and you can get to that place where you have peace of mind, even in the trouble, that's what's going to get you through. You can find your challenge with this vlog on my blog, Little Miss Sadie. The link is listed below, so check that out, and don't forget to work on that this week. I found my notebook, and I have just a little bit of time while the little one is napping left, I believe. Yep, I just got a few more minutes, so I'm going to get in a little bit of writing while I still can. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out that challenge. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see more. Until next time, I will see you later.